I wanted to say to the God above me that I am homeless in the threatening she made just now, which is Charles Toh. How do you get a penis into a blood prison in Africa if they are of color, if they are Asian or black? How do you get a black penis into a blood prison in Africa? Let's say I've been alive for 45 continuous years of this world, and I have seen black people throughout my lifetime in public. And that is because they are homeless in the threatening. They're not really in the blood prisons, and they don't go there because God has to make it so that they're there. But they don't go there. They don't go in a car there. They don't go on a plane there. They don't go there unless they go in the threatening. And that's them needing to have money and pay an airfare. But they can't. They have to fight to get an airplane to take off, and they can't. The pilot won't take off when there's been a fight to get on an airplane. What's wrong with it? They're black, and they live in Africa in the threatening. They're called African Americans, and they know it. They say that they're African Americans, but they don't go to Africa and stay there. And if they shun it all, they reappear in America. And we don't know why or how. So after all the time that I've been alive here, 45 years of alive of black people in America, how can they solve that they were called African Americans? That's too much time in dispute. There's no such thing as that you can solve a person was formed black over 45 years of alive here in the consumption of all of alive being deceased, and that the black person can then go to Africa and sort out that they were black. That's not fair to the black person. It's not fair to an Asian person either, and what Charles Toh did to my fork was selfless, because I don't go to an African blood prison. I go to Superior Founder, and I have a prison in Superior Founder for myself that is coming like God to get me so I can be out of the door locking in about a month. What's wrong with it? I don't have a month's worth of food, and that's because Charles Toh gluttoned food, and I can't get anyone to pay for it. It's in the interest. The landlord doesn't have the money, and the landlord didn't fight Charles Toh that he was eating in front of me and screaming his own body. He was screaming that he was just going to die outside homeless, and I don't think it's paid for. You know, screaming not like making out of the mouth of noise, but that he was screaming as in pressuring God, who was telling him what he needed for himself, that he was ignoring the God who is creating himself and telling God above that he doesn't want to be elsewhere. He doesn't want to be outside homeless on all the points that goes to prison. He wants to be inside and gluttoning food and eating something that belongs to myself. And he just gave me a very low, difficult life because he's angry that I'm not really going to feed anything. I can't. I'm not alive that way. And you are alive elsewhere if you don't know who I am or where I am. Everybody who doesn't know who I am and where I am, who has alive, is alive anyway. And that's what's wrong with Charles Toh being close to myself physically. It's not allowed. You're not allowed to be close to me physically. You're not allowed to talk to me. You're not allowed to tell me what's wrong with me from your point of view. You can't call me you. You can't tell me to you off. You can't tell me to get out. You are far in the wrong to have done that for a lifetime of myself, and you're not myself, and you don't pay for that ever. You can try to give me some money, but the money won't be the same as if the money was frozen in the bank. And the money won't be the same as if you pay the charges because they're charged to you. You're trying to charge me twice. That the charges are in view, and then I have to pay the charges. The charges are announced in advance. Then I have to pay the charges, such as if you're at a supermarket and you have to pay a grocery checker. That's paying the charges. But we all know it that all the supermarkets have checkouts. Even self-checkout, you still have to pay the self-checkout. The charges are announced in advance, and then when I get there, I must pay the charges. It's not that I might go to a supermarket with some money and I'll see if I get charged. Like if there's an attendant, or if there's a stocker, or if there's a checker that would check me out of a supermarket. If there's not any there, I can just leave, right? No, because of the posted prices. I'm approximately not able to answer that question because I pay the charges because I don't know you. I should be able to have the money from the bank to do that, but everybody's doing that. I don't actually have the money that way. Everybody's paying the charges. I don't have the money that way. That's not the same as if I go someplace and find out if I have to pay charges, that somebody won't let me leave with what I need. If they say they know who I am and they'll take care of that, their payroll will take care of it, they have to tell me that I'm going to take care of this receipt with my payroll, and then I'm going to give you leave from the store that you can leave freely with whatever you selected. Or same as a restaurant, they would serve me and that they would take care of it with their payroll, that the receipt is paid for by them and they know me and they will let me leave. And then they don't accuse me of thieving. I can see how they can gift that to myself and I can leave with it. But that's me being able to do that just a few times, and I have to eat a lot of food. I need the money out of the bank, and I need that you people aren't running up the charges in the bank, that the bank is charging money to give out their money. So that's Black people needing to go to Africa with their penises, and the male Asians with penises go to Africa. And if you're white and you have a penis, you go to Africa. If you have a penis, you go to Africa, and you can be multicultural, and you can be very well aware of that you have a penis and you're not ashamed of it because you're in Africa with a lot of different people who have a penis. Instead of you trying to be a penis who lives with someone who doesn't have a penis and lives off of them, and you threaten the threatening and you corrupt all the money, and I don't have a death that way. I am trying to decease myself out of the door locking myself, and I don't have it shut off yet. It's still there if you want to see it. It's right there. I need it disappeared because I'm ready to go. And Father,